Assalamu alaikum, welcome to this video. Today we will look at a PowerApps, PowerAutomate and SharePoint related video. What we'll do is use PowerApps to display data from a restricted access PAYSLIPS data source within SharePoint, which only the admin account has access. And then we're going to use admin impersonation within PowerAutomate to fetch the data in the list. Also, we'll be using the logged in user's email address, or sometimes referred to as a chat ID, usually for an external account, as a unique identifier to return a correct list item from the PAYSLIPS data source. And then we'll use a get items action within PowerAutomate to fetch the item from the list, and then respond to PowerApps action to return, which will return the get items result to PowerApps, and we'll return it as a text string. And then PowerApps, once we receive a text string, we'll use ParseJSON and then format as a table, display it in a gallery. So let's quickly look at the setup. So in SharePoint, we have this list over here, a PAYSLIPS list. In SharePoint, we have the PAYSLIPS list, and only the admin account has access to this list. And there's sensitive information in here, obviously, and we have a number of items in here. Okay. We also have the matching email address column. We could possibly use a lookup column as well. But this is here as a text field used for capturing the email address for the person that each item belongs to. And then in PowerApps, we have a button here. We click on it, it gets a payslip, or gets all your payslips. So there's payslip for February and January. Yeah, so there's a payslip for February and January. And then in the PowerAutomate, so within PowerApps, you can create workflows, PowerAutomate workflows. If you click on this icon over here, you're able to create a workflow over here. So I've created the workflow over here, but then I open it within PowerAutomate, making it easier to edit the workflow. Okay, so now looking at the workflow, this is the trigger that is created automatically. Is the action get items. So the get items here connects to the confidential payslips list. Okay, and then there's a filter on here. So the email column is equal to this property over here. If I hover it, you can see exactly what the property is. And in the trigger, that is returned. So when I click on this button, this is sent across to PowerAutomate over here, and I'm able to utilize it in the get items action item return. Okay, and then all the items for that user will be returned, and then respond to PowerApps. In respond to PowerApps, you can add outputs, multiple outputs, but I find it easier just to return the value for the get items as a string, and then on the PowerApp side, I will do the ParseJSON and convert it to a table to display each payslip. Okay. So over here, let's do the expression body get items value. Okay, and then the other thing for the workflow is setting up the impersonation. So now if we click on under run only users, we click on edit. We have this choice here, connections used. So here I'm connecting with the admin account over here. Right. So this account, irrespective of who is calling the workflow, this account over here will be used for establishing the connection and fetch the data. Another thing that I've noticed, which might be of benefit to you, is that this is for example, this account I'm using over here is an external account, all right? And the Outlook email is not added over here, but actually the chat ID is added over here. And it's something to consider, especially on the PowerApps side. Let me go back to PowerApps. So what we're doing over here in PowerApps, making sure is nothing running on start. Okay, yeah, we're just declaring available profile from workflow. All right. And then on this button, oh, sorry, this variable over here. Yeah, this was what I used during testing, but we don't actually need that. So on select of this button, we set the available workflow to the name of the workflow, run, using run. And then we set available with payslips from workflow to workflow.payslips, and payslips equaling the output over here, which is called payslips. Okay. So and then use ParseJSON to convert or to format the string as JSON. And if I now go to my variables and I look at payslips.json, I will see that an array is returned over here containing the two items. Okay. And then here we're using a gallery control to display both items. And the items is set to, we first have to convert this object over here to a table. Okay. And then that will display the items over here. Then we can obviously map whatever properties we want to any of these over here. And I think that's about it. So you have set up a test page, right? Let's click on get my profile. Here my two payslips are returned. I find it easy to test like this. I've just embedded the Power App on this test page. Yeah, so something I was referring to earlier regarding the user email address. So this is kind of unrelated, but I just wanted to show you something. So if I type in the text to be user email, I get that. It doesn't say aspiring software engineer at outlook.com. This is actually a chat ID, and I think PowerApps does this for external accounts. So we want to get the actual So actually what .email is, I don't know if I'm correct, but it seems like .email is actually turning the chat ID and not the actual email address. If I wanted to get the actual email address, I would have had to connect to Office 365 and to look up my profile and then return my email address. So, so if you want to connect, if you want to be certain that you're using your email address and not your chat ID, connect to Office 365 profiles, return the email address, and then also then in your SharePoint list you would populate, um, like for these other users where you use the exact Outlook account, right? But for this test user, I've added the chat address instead. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you have any questions, if you have any wishes for future videos, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Bye bye.